As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I usually I think stuff like this is stupid, and I think one of the things that it seems to have kind of gone by the wayside is like the commitment videos of recruits. I feel like I haven't seen many of those anymore. There used to be like every recruit had a big video to put out, but the Rams draft video was really, really cool. I thought that was awesome. Kind of made it look like it was Ocean's 11 or something like that. You saw a bunch of the Rams players in it and some actors making some cameos. When I first started, I was like, oh, this is going to be so stupid. But it turned out I actually enjoyed it. And admittedly, it is something that I usually hate. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the walls are coming down for me or something, Gabe. I don't know what's happening with me.
Okay, so if you haven't seen the video, highly recommend going and checking it out. It's funny because I don't think the Rams have a pick till like the third round.
Yeah,
So it's
I
like
know.
we're gonna steal the draft. Are you? Are you really? But okay, what was your you've got some, like you said, I wonder what the budget for the video was because it is like a straight up Hollywood production. You've got Dennis Quaid as Stan Kroenke. Tyrese is in there just randomly. It seems to be kind of like leading the heist of sorts. Josh Holloway as Les Snead. You've got, was it Scott Eastwood, who I was randomly next to at a club in LA one time. They had the table next to us.
Nice.
Great guy, by the way. He was Sean McVay. I I thought Van Jefferson's performance in there was on. Who was the guy? I can't remember who it was, but he's like, millions of people are coming to Las Vegas, and the other guys are like, yeah, for the draft, and he's like Celine Dion. That was my favorite part.
Was one of the players, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, it had to
Yeah.
have been.
I liked Aaron Donald. They had him as the nerd, kind of the nerdy guy. I don't know. It was really well done, and kind of really well done for a team with no picks. But they reference that in the video, which is kind of funny. Like everyone's talking about they ruined their future with no picks and they're stealing the draft. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I actually got a chuckle out of it, and I don't know, kind of a Ocean's 11 meets like Fast and Furious type of trailer. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed, and that's what you can do when you win the Super Bowl. You can make stuff like that, and people can't say anything. They can't just like, what are we gonna say? They just won it all. It's like they don't have many picks, but I guess this is what the front office has been doing in the meantime, since they don't have to prepare for the first round of the draft.
Yeah, we're not scouting anyone, so let's go make a movie trailer. I thought it was really well done.
But yeah, go check it out if you haven't seen it. Yeah, the steal the draft video. If you Google that, you'll find it. All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
I thought about going with allergy sufferers out there. I
I don't
saw
know if you've
Damon
heard my
Lane.
voice. Like, and I've even had some people like on the YouTube comments be like, dude, are you all right? It's been like, I'm struggling, man.
That one
I'm
day,
over here
whenever
popping lozenges like it's my job.
you almost died with that cough, that one day. I think since then it's been hanging around. People are worried, but allergy sufferers. I saw Damon Lane tweeted this out. This has been the windiest April in 50 years since 1970. I thought I was going crazy. I thought maybe I was just getting old and noticing the wind and complaining about things more. But no, it turns out, yes, the windiest April since 1970. So thought about going with that. But
That uh, can we use that for an excuse of why our golf games are currently at where they're at?
sure, that's what I
Okay,
always do.
perfect.
I've
Yeah,
always done that. I've
yeah.
always done that. But I ended up going with this is an amazing story. Kansas Wesleyan baseball. Okay. They're playing a game against Bethany College. and someone goes to the Gatorade to get some water, notices there's something strange about the water coming out of the Gatorade jug. Turns out they find a substance in the Gatorade jug. What's the substance? They believe it's paint thinner. Okay. So there's a current police investigation going on. Kansas Wesleyan believes that Bethany College put something, poison paint thinner, in the Gatorade jug. How about that?
I saw this. So that part is, I mean, it's hard to comprehend that another school would do that. Now, I will
Unless it's
say
a
this.
mistake. Like
It's a mistake, right?
Okay.
You would
It's gotta be.
assume. Now they're doing an investigation like that has not concluded. But you would assume the school uses some of those big Gatorade jugs for paint or something like that, which that seems like a bad idea. You can
Very
mix
bad
those up.
idea.
But did you see what happened to the game in the game?
No.
Kansas Wesleyan, I guess they were mad about that whole thing because they beat Bethany College 33-2.
Woo. No mercy rule, I guess. Jeez.
I suppose not.
Yeah, I understand maybe throwing some X-Lax in there, or what was it, the muscle relaxers? Remember that old commercial where they put the muscle relaxers in the Gatorade jug?
Yeah.
Football team. But yeah, something that's going to kill the other team. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem very smart. It's got to be a mistake. Like someone had to have, I don't know, maybe not.
I'm with you. Like out of all the funny things you could put in the Gatorade cooler, like paint thinner, that's not funny. That's not a good prank.
No.
That's just dangerous. Now, the laxative thing, if it's the second inning and Kansas Wesleyan's entire team poops their pants, yeah, that's funny. That would have been hilarious. Now, you still would have gotten sued and there would have been an investigation. People would have been pissed. But if you're going to do something to mess with the other team's water cooler, you can't take it that far. And like you said,
gotcha. You're all dead.
Oh, you're all in the emergency room, losers. No, I'm with it. It had to have been a mistake. But I bet you that Bethany College will no longer use Gatorade coolers as their paint buckets also. I would assume that change will be made.
Oh, that was wild. I saw that and I was like, that's crazy. And you would assume that you would have to think that your first thought would be, oh my gosh, there was a mistake made. There was something in here and they filled it up with water unknowingly. But there must be something going on to where that's not your first thought. Your first thought is to call the cops, right? Wow. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. I think we're all interested to see how that whole thing plays out. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones baby blue corn whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones pot still bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones single malt won the best in glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win that competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. Go drink it. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but yes, the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the week, thought about going with the PGA Championship at Southern Hills.
Are you going?
I think we're going to hit up the weekend because I think my in-laws have like a sponsorship tent or something like that. So I think we're gonna try to go. But Phil Mickelson might be there too, registered to play in it. And now I guess it's not a guarantee that he's going to play in it just because he registered. But I feel like Lefty has fallen off the face of the earth, and he may resurrect. He may rise from the ashes at Southern Hills in Tulsa. Ted, could be kind of fun.
Yeah, the best thing to do is to get out there, play some golf, and try and move on. That's about it. The longer you stay away, the longer everyone's going to talk. So get out there, play some golf, wear the terrible shades, and it may even be good if he goes back to the front button-up long sleeve mizzen and main shirts that everyone kept talking about. Give people something else to talk about.
What a phase that was. So, yeah, hopefully we see Lefty there at Southern Hills. I also thought about going with Miami Heat, eliminated Trae Young and the Hawks, did it without Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry, and now they just get to sit there and rest and chill, waiting for the winner of the 76ers and Raptors.
Playoffs have been crazy so far, man.
Yeah, but Miami's there just kind of chilling now. So that's a good spot to be in if you're the Heat. Now, I also thought about going with Texas fans, man, because I can't lie. Quinn Ewers looked pretty good in that spring game. And they've got juice at the skill positions. I don't know if they're going to be able to block anyone with that offensive line, especially those two offensive tackles. They got to upgrade at tackle, but their skill positions, Worthy, Nair, the transfer, Whittington, if he's healthy, Bijan, Sanders, the tight end, looks like he could end up being a dude. I know it's Texas, but that offense, I think their defense may still stink like they did last year, but that offense is going to have, if they can block people, it's going to have some pop now.
They're going to be good. They're going to be good. Yeah, I'm interested to see Quinn Ewers and
Hudson Card looked good too.
Yeah, Hudson Card. It's going to be interesting to see if Quinn Ewers is the guy. If Hudson Card maybe would hit the transfer portal. Be a nice backup quarterback at OU.
Wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't he? But my winner of the week, Ja Morant, man, first of all, won the NBA's Most Improved Player Award, and then took that award and took it to Desmond Bane, his teammate's house, and left it there for him. Because Desmond Bane, he made a massive leap this year, and I thought that was cool. Just, hey, you probably deserve this more than me. Here's your trophy. Just left it on his kitchen counter. That's hilarious, and it's awesome. I think it says a lot about Ja Morant. But the dunk he had on Malik Beasley, oh my goodness. Just get out of the way, man. What are you doing? I mean, Ja Morant cocked that thing as far back as humanly possible, Ted. My goodness. And how about Iron Eagle on that call? What do you call it? A jawbreaker? Oh, that was awesome. The dunk and the call, everything about it was fantastic. That's one of the best in-game dunks we've ever seen.
That dude can fly. He does some of the craziest things that I've ever seen. Some of his blocks that he's had, like in fast break situations, and some of his dunks are just insane. And I'm glad they didn't call it there, but that could have been a charge outside the circle. But I've always said this, and I wish the NBA would adopt it. If a guy is standing outside the circle and you leave your feet and dunk it, and you're able to complete the dunk, it should not ever be called a charge, ever, under any circumstances. If you can fly that far and that high, you have a right to the rim, in my opinion. And that one was just insane. I watched the replay of it on Twitter probably 75 times.
Yeah, we can call. I like that. The right to the rim rule.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you can leave your feet and get there, the defender really is inconsequential, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like, now the pictures of the dunk are also like so sick. I know that, are posters still a thing for kids?
I don't know. How about instead of you got posterized, you got screensavered.
Screensaver. You got gift. You got NFT'd.
Yes.
Like, that was whatever kids are doing these days. That's gonna be a popular one. But the thing about it is like, man, Memphis, they were down like 11 with 7 minutes to go and came back to win the game. And Ja Morant didn't play particularly well in the majority of that game, but in the fourth quarter, he was awesome. And the end of that game, like the play that Minnesota drew up to get Anthony Edwards that three to tie the game with 3 seconds to go, that was awesome execution from the Timberwolves and a big shot by Edwards. But what was Anthony Edwards doing going over the top and trying to, like, what he gave Ja Morant a free run to the basket. Now, you know, a good challenge at the rim on Morant, and he just floated in the air like a superhuman and laid it in left-handed. But I have no clue what Anthony Edwards was doing defensively there. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, it's been that series has been a lot of fun.
Oh, the most fun by far. Now, Pelicans and Suns has been really fun as well, but that one has been wildly entertaining.
Yeah, and I didn't see this last one, but are they still keeping Adams out of the rotation mainly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we all love Steven Adams, but I don't even remember seeing him on the court, honestly.
Yeah. Yep.
But Ja Morant, 18 points in that fourth quarter when it didn't look like he had it. Like, it just didn't look like he had it. And that atmosphere in Memphis looked awesome. I'm so jealous.
I know.
That should be us.
Morant is that I would pay a lot of money to watch that guy play. He's just a highlight reel waiting to happen.
I was thinking about that last night. Like, who in sports right now, like not just in basketball, like who in sports would you rather watch in person than Ja Morant? It's like you think like Mahomes, Kyler Murray, like that type, like, but it's just the entertainment value that guy brings to watching him play. Like, I don't know who else I'd rather watch. I mean, there's better players in the NBA, but I don't know how many guys are more entertaining. I don't think it's like Steph Curry's fun as hell to watch, but give me Ja Morant over that. Like,
yeah, no,
I mean, it's just the level of athleticism, like the attitude, like everything about it is so fun to watch.
Yeah, no, he is. I think it feels like it's kind of weird that, I mean, even like Durant and like the last group that's really dominated for, you know, the last decade and even more whenever you count LeBron, those guys are starting to age out, you know, and there's a new crop of guys coming up, and I feel like Morant's going to be like one of those main dudes that's going to be superstar worthy, just because I think there's better players, but sometimes it's not always about how good you are. It's how loud do you do what you do. And he is loud.
Yeah, you talk about young guys in the league right now in the NBA. I think John Morant's got that. Anthony Edwards, the guy from the Timberwolves, like
Hmm.
he's just a stupid athlete. He's going to be one of those guys. And then I'm not sure how many people kept tabs on the Houston Rockets after the All-Star break, but Jalen Green, that guy,
Yeah.
whew, I mean, his level of athleticism, he's going to be a dude now.
If
So
they get people around him, where do you put SGA in that group?
he just his game's different. Like, are we talking about like as effectiveness, or are we talking about entertainment value?
Well, just kind of like the next group of guys that like he may not be as entertaining, but like the guys that are going to be the new like max players that are teams are going to be built around.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is he's going to be, an all NBA type player, right?
Yeah.
That's that's what you got to hope. So if he can continue to finish as well as he does at the rim, as creative as he is at the rim, and if he can make a big improvement shooting the three, he can be one of those guys. Now he operates a little differently. Like he's athletic as hell. I don't want to make it sound like he's not, but he's not. I mean, he's not John Morant or Anthony
No,
Edwards.
he's not leave from in between the bottom of the circle and the free throw line, cock it back to your ankle and punch it on a dude that's 2 feet outside of the circle trying to take a charge. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, the hope would be for him and Josh Giddey to kind of elevate each other's game and to be able to play off each other and create, one of the best backcourts in the NBA,
Yeah.
right? And that's the hope. But SGA is a great player. I mean, there's no doubt. But is he? Because I feel like if you're a max contract guy, you need to be in the conversation for all NBA, right? And there's only 3 all NBA teams. There's 15 guys.
Mm-hmm.
So can he get there? Hopefully. But he's got to show a lot more than he has to be in that conversation. I mean, if we're just being realistic about it, got to make an all-star team first.
Well, and you gotta rarely, and I don't know the history on all the all NBA, but it's hard to make it whenever you don't have a team that's in the running. Like
For
you
sure.
need to be in. You don't have to win it, but you need to be in the conversation.
I hope it's just not awful next season. We're going down a Thunder rabbit hole. I got to pull us out. For my loser of the week. Thought about going with the Philadelphia 76ers. I mentioned earlier that the Heat are just chilling now at home waiting. 76ers were up 3-0 against the Raptors. Embiid suffers the thumb injury. They lose game 4. Then they lose game 5 at home. And Embiid doesn't look great. Hearing him talk after the game, like he clearly isn't feeling great. It's affecting how his mental approach to the game as well. Game 6 Thursday night in Toronto. I expect the 76ers to get rolled in that game. And then it's going to be game 7. It's just not ideal. It's not ideal.
You ever had a thumb injury?
I've hurt I've hurt both thumbs, and it is the worst. Like, it's awful.
Horrible. I don't have like any ligaments left in this thumb.
Oh.
And like
Oh,
my right
if you're watching on YouTube, ugh.
And whenever I should have had surgery on it, really on both of them, but it was so bad. Like all the ligaments were torn out of it. Like one time I reached to grab the steering wheel to drive, and I hit the tip of my thumb on the steering wheel, and my thumb came like this whole section of it came up over the knuckle and back here. It was the most excruciating pain I've ever been through, and I was driving down the road.
God, dude.
Gross, man. And it hurts when you brush your teeth. It hurts when you're trying to put your shoes on. It hurts whenever you're trying to eat food. You don't realize how much you use your thumbs until you've injured them.
Oh.
I feel for them right now.
And they take like thumb, fingers, they just take forever to heal because of the blood flow. Like I feel bad for Embiid.
When I was a rookie, the first day of training camp, we do stretch, and then we go. It's not even no, it's not even stretch yet. We're doing like a warm up, like an individual with linebackers, a warm up before we stretch. And the coach throws me a duck pass ball, and I like jammed one of my fingers to where I thought I broke it. It was how bad it was. First day of camp before it ever started, and it was brutal the whole camp. I mean,
Oh,
it was horrible.
that makes me so sad for you. All right. I also thought about going with Kevin Durant. Now, he did have 39 points in game 4 against the Celtics, but he also missed some key shots late, including a missed free throw that kind of really changed how they had to approach the end of that game. I couldn't believe he missed that free throw, but first time
He
he's
missed
lost.
one in their last game too, didn't he?
I know,
Late.
man.
Yeah.
But first time he's lost in the first round since 2010 with the Thunder. First time he's ever been swept in the playoffs in his career. And then Charles Barkley went after him. Got after him a little bit, and they're going to be calling KD a bus rider for a while now because of old Chuck. And, of course, Durant wakes up morning after getting swept, and what does he decide to do? He's like, I'm going after Barkley. Screw it. Post some pictures. It causes a back and forth now. Also, he on Twitter, and I kind of love that Durant's always on Twitter. It kind of makes him feel a little more normal, right? He's like one of the best basketball players ever, and he's just constantly online, like firing back at people. It's kind of fun. But now he's referring to himself as a god, lowercase g, on Twitter, and he's like saying it's like a positive affirmation thing. And I'm like, man, we could choose another word. Another word would be good, but I don't know.
Positive
feels,
affirmation, delusion.
yeah,
I mean,
it just feels like things like however he saw it going in Brooklyn, it hasn't gone that way. And now they're probably going to sign Kyrie Irving to an extension. He's going to continue to have his career, hitched to that guy. The Ben Simmons situation. I mean, I feel like we've said enough about that. That guy's he's got to figure some things out. But
no, it's heavily criticized at first, but now you look at Harden, it's like, hey, not actually a bad move. Harden, smart.
yeah, Harden's out of shape. He can't go buy anyone anymore, and Philadelphia's still sitting there like, we got the better end of this deal. Yeah,
It's crazy. I love Barkley though, man. The man is a national treasure.
He's awesome. I mean, I stay up so late to watch Inside the NBA after those games. Like that is must see TV for me.
Whenever Kenny was talking about he gave his rings to the people that were most important to him and helped him get him, and give it to like his brother and the other one maybe to his dad, I think. And Chuck said you should have gave it to Hakeem.
They were doing like, and Barkley, I was mad at Kenny Smith because Barkley was about to kind of talk about how, when you're the bus driver of the team, you're the leader of the team, you're like the go-to guy, like it's different. And it seemed like he was about to go into some stories and stuff and like an explanation. And Kenny Smith chimed in. It's like, you may not have a championship, but you're a champion. And Barkley looked at him like, what the hell are you talking about, man? He was like, I don't get to sit at the table with the other guys because I didn't win a championship. And I'm fine with that. Like, and I don't know, Kenny Smith, I feel like Kenny Smith derailed something great that we were about to get from Barkley in that moment. It pissed me off.
Yeah. I'm amazed at how I can see in 1 minute, I feel like Shaq may seriously get up and go over there and punch Charles. And then 5 minutes later, Charles is saying something, and Shaq's over like, yep, that's right.
He's right.
It's awesome.
Oh,
that show is great.
There's
no way
show.
they'll ever be able to replace it.
Oh, absolutely not. All right, but my loser of the week, Mark Emmert. So it's funny. So it was announced that he'll be stepping down as NCAA president. I guess once a replacement is found, or by June 30th, 2023. I'm not entirely sure why it'll take so long, but whatever. And normally when it's announced, when you've been doing something for over a decade and it's announced that you're stepping away from the job, normally people say nice things about you, like, oh, thank you for your contribution to college athletics. Thanks for being a great guy. This, that, like, it's the exact opposite. The exact opposite. People are celebrating Mark Emmert leaving as president of the NCAA. And man, I don't think I've seen one nice thing, like complimentary thing written about the guy. That's got to hurt, man. Mark Emmert has to look at this stuff and be like, damn, was I really that bad? And the answer is yes. Yes, you were, Mark.
Yeah. Well, maybe to avoid all the negativity, he doesn't have internet in his mansion. That's the easy way to avoid all the negative criticism out there. Because the dude has made a ton of money doing what? I'm not sure exactly.
Well, if you think about it, and I believe, a couple of years ago, he raked in $2.9 million as the NCAA president. Pretty sweet gig. I would probably let people just criticize me all day for $2.9 million a year. I think I'd do that. But other than completely now, and once again, he works for school presidents, right? CEOs, whatever you want to call them. So it's his job to take the heat for what those people want done. I know that. But in the press release, he said he, quote, emphasized the need to focus on the experience and priorities of student athletes. What? I mean, listen, we haven't forgotten what the women's NCAA tournament weight room looked like just a couple years ago. And then you've got the FBI investigation in college hoops where his infractions committee sanctioned some schools and still hasn't sanctioned others. But I think his biggest mistake was the complete mismanagement of the name, image, and likeness stuff, starting with the O'Bannon case. And if he just would have been able to convince the people he represents, those school presidents, that, hey, man, things are changing. Like if he would have had some foresight, the NCAA, you look at what he did now, like them digging their heels in, it really has forced them to restructure, and it's made them essentially irrelevant in college athletics.
It's almost not even restructure. I'm going to start calling him Blockbuster Emmert because, whenever everything else was changing around him, absolutely refused. Like if they would have just given some common sense things, you can sign autographs, you can make some appearances, you can do some of these things to cash in on your name, image, and likeness. We probably could have avoided the let's pay a high school kid $8 million over 4 years to come play quarterback here. We probably could have avoided that stuff. But now, because they didn't do anything, they didn't even prepare for if they lost those cases of how we're going to implement some of these new things. It's just basically, well, we lost, throw our hands up, we've got the Wild West.
So other than losing the NCAA quite a bit of money that probably was avoidable, and other than getting owned by the Supreme Court in Congress, and other than the organization that he was leading having to completely change how it's structured, how it operates, and its purpose and importance, he was great. He's great other than that.
Well, here's the thing. I get, part of me understands where he's coming from. Like, we're trying to, like, this is supposed to be amateur athletics, right? So he's strictly trying to stick to, we've got to keep this amateur. This is an amateur model. But you can't, if you can't see that it's an amateur model, but there's people making billions of dollars off of it, you have to level the playing field somehow, and you have to change what you now view as amateur athletics. It's not like a tennis tournament like at the local municipal facility. Okay. We're talking about big time, televised, highly watched sporting events that create billions of dollars of revenue. It's not what we once considered amateur athletics.
Yeah, and where it all went wrong for him is, and I know he was listening to the people that he works for, but it was his job to make them see what was coming. And he failed miserably at that. And now we're at where we're at, and the NCAA is really honestly trying to figure out if it has a place in the future of college athletics. Kind of is my read on it. So
Yeah.
kind of seems like we're headed toward the conference commissioners, and maybe the TV networks obviously heavily involved, but kind of seems like that's who's going to be running the show here pretty soon. So nice job, Emmert.
It's going to be college sports, but it's going to be run like pro sports.
Yep.
To some degree.
All right.